centers. I suspect Sean McVay will be too. Who are the 4 remaining quarterbacks in the NFL playoffs? Tom Brady's the best that's ever played. Drew Brees, that holds every record that Tom Brady doesn't. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. And Jared Goff is a number 1 pick. And a great, great thrower of the football. Special people. This round of the playoffs is for special people. Dak is Alex Smith. Mobile, great leadership qualities, solid dude, can win you games. But Alex had trouble winning that game. Saturday night, Dallas was out-coached by a special coach and out-quarterbacked by a more special quarterback. We need you now to carry us. And Dak didn't, because that's not who Dak is. The NFC, when you start looking at the last several years, has been about special people. Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, McVay, Aaron Rodgers, Khalil Mack, Kyle Shanahan, Sean Payton, Cam, Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox, Carson Wentz, Doug Peterson. There's a lot of special in there. Okay, that's who ends up playing in the end in the NFC. A lot of special coaches, special players, special quarterbacks. Jason Garrett and Dak are very good and very solid, but they're not special. By the way, don't let your age beat you. M-Drive, buymdrive.com, refine your prime. More energy, more stamina. Big announcement here in a couple of minutes. Kyrie Irving came out yesterday, used to play with LeBron, bailed on him. And LeBron James didn't like it because LeBron James thought he was helping Kyrie Irving grow. Kyrie Irving was a one-and-done guy at college, played 8 college games at Duke, couldn't get off campus fast enough. Well, Kyrie Irving is now admitting, yeah, I was kind of learning stuff from LeBron, and maybe I should have been learning more stuff and not trying to get out of town so fast. Here's Kyrie Irving.
It was a big deal for me because I had to call Bron, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship. And it was hard for him. And sometimes getting the most out of the group, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
First of all, I like that Kyrie Irving admits it. That's a real sign of maturity. Kyrie Irving, of course, Kyrie Irving is simply a talent and not a leader. The NBA's got a leadership problem. I went to a game last night. It was a bunch of talented players. Who was really a leader? Steph Curry's a leader. Steph Curry grew up with an NBA father and then didn't try to get out of college as soon as he could. If you look at the Golden State Warriors, it's not a coincidence that Steph Curry went to 3 years of college and Klay Thompson 3 and Draymond Green 4 and Andre Iguodala 2. Steve Kerr also a big part of the college experience. But the basketball culture in America, my friends, is broken. The basketball culture in America now is spot a talent in high school and let's get him paid in the pros. College basketball bad. No, it's not. College for all of us, men and women, is the time we grow up. I had to buy my own groceries, get a job and pay for things. I almost flunked out. I wasn't a grown-up. You kind of learn to be a man, and I'll just speak for 19-year-old me. I learned to be a man in college. I had to figure out a checkbook and a budget and do my shopping and do my own clothes. Nobody made my bed. Nobody washed my stuff. College matters. Dwayne Wade taught LeBron how to be a leader in Miami. Until that point, LeBron was just talented. But LeBron joined the Miami Heat. Shane Battier, 4 years of college. Ray Allen, 3 years of college. D. Wade, 3 years of college. Udonis Haslem, 4 years of college. Men, leaders. LeBron to that point was just talented. It is then when LeBron became a leader, talked about politics, took vocal tribal opinions that were unpopular to many. That's what being a man is. The NFL has never struggled with this because the NFL culture, the football culture in America is about developing boys into men. You're 19 years old, you get recruited. The university says you will not play. We will redshirt you. Grow up, get stronger. You will then play 3 to 4 years, come out at 23 years old. Statistically, football players in America get married sooner. Older men leading a family, leading an offensive line. They walk into this league like Russell Wilson, 4 years of college, and J.J. Watt, and they're community leaders overnight. But the basketball culture is simply about find the talent and get it paid. Yesterday, Scottie Pippen submitted to all of us that Zion Williamson should no longer play at Duke. Let's just get him paid. So therefore, Zion Williamson will be a long list of marvelously talented NBA players who have no real leadership skills. Kyrie Irving had 2 opportunities in his life to learn from 2 great leaders, Mike Krzyzewski, and yet he couldn't leave him fast enough. And LeBron James, after Miami, a real leader, and he couldn't leave him fast enough either. I went to an NBA game last night, and when I look at this league, I don't see leaders. I see talent. Kevin Durant's too flaky. James Harden's into James. Same with Westbrook. Kawhi doesn't talk. Steph Curry is a leader, and a big component to that is college, is playing within a system. LeBron was just talented forever. Then he joined a group of players who had been to college, been on their own. Don't be so fast to roll your eyes at the college experience. Yeah, I know. You want to get paid. I get it. And maybe over time the NCAA will figure something out. I'd like to hope they would. But Kyrie Irving had 2 chances in his life to learn how to be a leader. He couldn't exit either fast enough. Now, to some gigantic news. It's Joy Taylor's birthday today.
Aww.
Let's hear it for Joy. Oh.
Thank you, Colin. Happy birthday to Ann also.
My wife's birthday today.
Yes. Oh,
and she's getting the same thing you are.
Thank you.
And it's Joy Taylor's birthday today. We're not even going to get into specifics on it.
Specifically, I'm turning 21 today. So it's a very big day. I can finally legally drink. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
But the roads are wet in Los Angeles. Wait till tomorrow. It's supposed to dry out.
Yes, it refuses to stop raining here.
It refuses. We literally live in London or Seattle for the last 7 days in Los Angeles.
Well,
anyway,
thank you guys.
You're a great teammate. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
So, 17 years ago, the Rams played a Super Bowl in the Superdome. Now they return there for a chance to get back to the Super Bowl for the first time since that 2001 season, and they know it will be especially loud, and Jared Goff knows that.
Whenever you're in a place like that and it is loud, you obviously can't hear very well and have to use a lot of visual signals and a lot of, visual communication and just be on the screws just that much more. Because you can't really communicate at the line of scrimmage. You can't get things changed much at the line of scrimmage. So in the huddle, just making sure everyone's on the screws and knows what they're doing.
That's a big thing.
It's going to be wild there,
yeah,
for sure. If any team is going to come in there prepared for that, I'm going to go with the Rams just because Sean McVay is so thorough.
Yeah.
I don't know that I haven't been to a Rams game out here. I don't know if it's the same environment, but we do know what it's like at the Superdome.
Yeah, it's hard to win that. There's a reason Tom Brady even doesn't win as much on the road. There's an advantage to playing at home. If you go to an NFL stadium, the really smart fan bases, when their team gets the ball, they don't yell.
Right.
Like Brady, when Brady has the ball in Foxborough, I've been to one of those games. Goulet, you've been to several of those games. When Brady gets the ball in Foxborough, the crowd's quiet. And then when the other team has the ball, the crowd cheers. Like in the Superdome, they figured it out. Saints have the ball, nobody says anything.
Well, I think we kind of are maybe ignoring that home field advantage. I feel we talked about it a lot yesterday with the weather in Kansas City. You gave a very scientific explanation for why it will be difficult for everyone to cheer there. But the environment is more about the energy, because there is a lot of emotions and motivation and energy and momentum and stuff that goes throughout the game. So having the crowd on your side does matter. We ignore that because we're at home. we're not in that space, but it is important. So it's definitely going to play a factor. Yeah. So Mike Tomlin hasn't won a replay challenge in the last 2 seasons. He's 0 for 9. His clock management and his use of timeouts have also been questioned. It's kind of remarkable.
Is that true?
Yes.
He's 0 for 9 on his challenges?
He's not won a challenge in the last 2 seasons.
Wasn't Tom Coughlin bad on challenges? Somebody else that's kind of a legendary coach was bad on challenges.
Well, Atlanta hired a clock management and challenge assistant for Dan Quinn this offseason, and Panthers owner David Tepper is wanting one for Ron Rivera. So Art Rooney II said he's looking into it too. He said having someone with that responsibility is important. Mike and I have talked about it. It would have to be somebody who is on the staff that has a role to fill there. Whether we have the right people, we're looking at that. It's fair game for discussion. I'm surprised this isn't already a thing.
Yeah, seriously. In my lifetime, the average NFL score is like 26-23. Most games are won and lost with 4 minutes to go.
Right. Obviously, I assume that we all assume this is the responsibility of the head coach, and apparently it is the responsibility of the head coach. But I don't know why in my mind, I imagine there was someone who just stands next to the coach is like, hey, we only got 2 timeouts left. That feels like a small role, but also very important, especially when you're looking at 0-9 and challenges. That seems like a very big responsibility.
I got to figure out who it is. There's somebody else in the league that we know is a good coach that was bad with challenges. And I don't know who it is, but there's somebody out there.
Well,
my next guest just told me that Coughlin's good with challenges, so it's not. I thought Coughlin was bad. Somebody that's good. Tomlin obviously knows what he's doing. He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but there's so much going on when you're a head coach. It seems like it would be smart to have someone just standing there, helping you, take that off your plate. Finally, after leading the Celtics to win over the Raptors last night, we talked about this a few minutes ago, Kyrie Irving made some reveals in the post-game, unprompted. Kyrie said he called his old teammate LeBron and wanted to apologize in talking about leadership. So this is what he had to say.
I apologize for being that young player that wanted everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship, and it was hard for him. And sometimes getting the most out of the group, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Don't kid yourself. LeBron was just super talented when he went to Miami with all those veteran guys. That's when LeBron became political, more outspoken, took on challenges. Really, I thought became a leader. Then when he went to Cleveland, he admitted it. LeBron admitted, I took all those things I learned from Pat Riley and D. Wade.
Of course.
And I took them to Cleveland.
He took the championship blueprint and brought it to Cleveland and won a championship.
And that was leadership.
And he needed to go to Miami and get that new environment and be around an organization that already had a championship and championship level players and ownership and leadership. That's really what it is. But to me, this comes down to Kyrie, even though it's kind of like another little backhanded jab at his team there.
Right.
Expectations change things. You may think you're a leader. You may think that you're on the right path and that you know everything or you know what it takes to win a championship because you have one. And then you become the guy.
It's different.
And you realize, this is really how it works. It actually is all my fault at the end of the day. And that's what I think happened here. Well, maybe he's a leader when he's not the guy.
Well, I always said with LeBron, the great thing about playing with LeBron, Kyrie could just drive to an arena, drop 24, and when the game was over, all the media came and said, LeBron, your thoughts about the game, and Kyrie could slide out the back door.
Right.
It's very easy to play with LeBron because, Michael Jordan had this. Scottie Pippen could just play. And the microphones all went to Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan had to sit up there and answer every question. And the minute Michael left, Scottie was no less talented, but do you remember what happened to Scottie? He had an issue with Phil Jackson. Scottie was never the great leader. Scottie was a great talent. And he was allowed to be, games were done. People cared about Michael. Michael's opinion made the headline. Scottie could play and leave. When Michael left and Scottie had to be the guy that answered the questions, he melted down.
As a team, you still have the same level of pressure with, when you have someone like LeBron or MJ on your team. Yeah. But it's the spotlight, the focus, the answers, like you said, are not on you. And that's what I think happened here. He has those expectations now. It changes things.
Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line News.
Well, he played for over a decade, and you remember him as a Steeler when he entered the league, then as a great New York Giant, spent a little time with the Jets. Plaxico Burress, who is in Los Angeles today, coaching the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Future NFL players take on the field against college football all-stars. Good to have you in, man.
How you doing, man? How's everybody?
You know, it's funny. When we talk about the games this weekend, let's talk Rams and Saints. So you've played in the Superdome.
Right.
It's really loud.
Right.
You've also played in a game that was so cold, you told me you had to rub your body in Vaseline. Would you rather play in absurdly cold conditions, Plax, which you've done, or would you rather play in a stadium you can't hear your audibles and can't think? What's a bigger disadvantage, crowd or weather?
I think any receiver would love to play indoors versus outside.
Yeah.
I mean, going up to Green Bay and playing with minus 16, nobody knows what that feels like.
Tell us what it was like. Tell my audience.
Oh, my goodness. I think that the water was freezing on the sideline in like less than 10 minutes. That's how cold it was. It was like minus 23 wind chill, minus 16. And it's so cold that you can't believe it. I mean,
you had a great game.
Oh yeah, me and Eli go out on the field and warm up 2 hours before the game, and there's nobody in the stadium. You would not thought that was a football game that day. That's how cold it was.
And you rubbed Vaseline on your body.
Yeah, I basically had on an adult onesie underneath my uniform.
And you ended up having I would imagine, so it didn't affect your performance. Did it affect your routes? But did it affect when you got hit, it hurt more? Mentally, did it affect? Because you had a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't prepare to go playing minus 16 degrees because those conditions really don't exist
anywhere else.
Yeah, except in Green Bay, but we needed to win that game, and we did.
Yeah. And in terms of, let's say you're the Rams and you're in the Superdome this weekend, explain this to people listening or watching on our show. You can't really audible the line. I guess a lineman could, but it's just a series of hand signals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Rams going into this game, their offense will basically be going off a silent count. You know, it'll be a lot of hand signals between the quarterbacks and wide receivers because you can't hear. And they'll basically be going off a silent count all game. Is
that a disadvantage? Does it affect the running game because you don't have the uniform?
It's definitely a disadvantage for the offense because your offensive line doesn't get off the ball as quickly.
Okay, fair enough. Right. I don't think that affects the passing game though as much. It may affect the running game.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. When you know, it's interesting when you let's go back to the Patriots and the Chiefs this weekend. Mm-hmm. Kansas City is seen as having kind of this, Cheetah, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, Mitchell Schwartz, good offensive lineman, Patrick Mahomes, has a lot of talent. But Bill Belichick, and you faced him multiple times, right. Okay? What does Belichick do to an offense? When you talk to quarterbacks, he's given, through his career, right. He eats young quarterbacks alive. Mahomes had 2 turnovers against the Patriots. What does Belichick do defensively to slow down multi-talented offenses?
It's not just about what he does to an offense. In all three phases of the game, what you do well, he takes it away from you. And you're basically just playing left-handed. You just have to go in and beat them because they're not going to turn the football over. And you just have to go out and basically get pressure on Tom Brady without blitzing. I think that's one of the keys to winning the game.
Yeah.
And Kansas City definitely has the better football team, but you just can't count New England out.
Did you play well against New England's secondary and Belichick's defense?
I did. I did, but they were basically taking away everything that I ran inside.
Oh, they took away your inside routes.
It was taking away everything. And they was basically using the sideline as another man.
So you could sense they defended you differently than other teams.
Yes, definitely. They take away everything that you do well and just make you react on the fly. That's what they do.
Let's go to the Rams and the Saints. If I said to you, who's got better personnel, L.A. or New Orleans? Who's got better players?
L.A.
I feel the same way.
Right. I believe that the Rams have more talent, But I picked the New Orleans Saints to win the Super Bowl at Week 8, and I'm not going back on it.
Why?
Because I think they're a better football team than people give them credit for. I think they have the best defense in the playoffs right now. I really do.
You think the Saints do?
I do.
It's interesting when we have an interesting weekend where we have Breeze and Brady. Mm-hmm. These guys don't make all the throws. Yeah. They don't have the big arms. Mm-hmm. They're not really mobile. They're really good pre-snap.
Right.
They know what they're doing before the ball is snapped. Goff and Mahomes, younger athletes, both clearly more mobile than who they'll face this weekend. Goff can make all the throws. Mahomes can make all the throws and then some. If I just told you, would you rather have and play with a young quarterback who can make all the throws but still takes a lot of info from the sideline, or play with Brady and Breeze, who basically pre-snap, they don't need the coach? As a receiver, the talent, the youth, the arm, or the pre-snap excellence?
I would take Drew Brees any day of the week. Any day of the week, because watching him play over the last 12 or 13 years that he's been playing, it's been legendary. I mean, look at his numbers. Look what he's been able to do, and he's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever play.
Yeah. When you're in the city of New York now, you live over in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You got some, a backyard and deer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you have the Giants and the Jets. The Jets have the Sam Darnold thing and the Adam Gase thing.
Right.
And the Giants have the Eli situation. Just take me through. New York is a proud franchise. Right. The Mara family, we always say they're kind of like an accounting firm. They're kind of conservative. Now they got OBJ, who's a rock star. And now they got Eli, who they're petrified to offend. It feels like to me in the last couple of years, the Giants have lost their way. They're afraid to draft another quarterback. They kind of feel beholden to OBJ. When you were there, you were allowed to be a personality.
Right.
Lawrence Taylor was allowed to be a personality.
Right.
But you felt they were so formidable and well-run. Are the Giants well-run today?
Oh, absolutely.
You believe that?
They're definitely one of the top 5 organizations in football. I had the privilege for playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Giants, and they're definitely.
You felt they were great franchises.
Yes, absolutely.
You didn't feel that with the Jets?
I did not. Walking into the Jets building and going into a game on the weekend, your mindset was, I hope we win this week. that was kind of the aura of being in the building. But
when you were with the Steelers and the Giants, it was, we will win this week.
Oh, yeah, we will win this week.
Okay, so Kansas City, New England, you'll take?
Kansas City.
Rams, Saints, you'll take?
New Orleans.
Okay, so you have a Kansas City Saints Super Bowl. I think that's what Vegas likes.
Yes.
Plaxico Burress, 11 years in the NFL. You are coaching 12 years in the NFL. What's the name of the bowl you're coaching this weekend?
The NFLPA Collegiate Bowl.
And it's college guys?
Yeah, college seniors going into the NFL draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's that game? The game is here in Los Angeles?
At the Rose Bowl.
Saturday?
On Saturday, yes.
Is it on television?
National television.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Good seeing you, Plax.
All right. Thanks.
Coming up next, Andy Reid talks about Tom Brady and makes a point all of us should take seriously.